You do not want money, and you don't even want the things that money can buy you. You want the feeling of what the things that you buy give you. So if you can actually learn to look at what you want, perceive the feeling you're actually trying to get, and just get that feeling now, that is how the money is going to follow. And the money's going to follow because that's just how it works. You don't have to understand how it works, why it works. That is how it works. I want to give you an example with debt. If you have a credit card that you want to pay off, why do you want to pay that credit card off? You want to pay it off likely because you're chasing the feeling or desire the feeling of being relieved. You know, and you feel like when you get rid of the debt, then you will feel relieved. So in this scenario, number one, you work harder to get the money so that you can try to get rid of the debt. And then after you get the money, then you pay off the debt and you think that is what's going to make you relieved. And that's not how it works. That is not the process at which this stuff works. In your brain, I'm going to repeat what I just said. In your brain right now, you think you're going to work harder to accumulate the money, use the money to pay off the debt, and because you paid off the debt, now you feel relieved. Let's work it backwards. You cultivate a feeling of relief in you right now, which allows you to accumulate the money. And because you accumulated the money, now you pay off the debt, which reinforces that you feel relieved, and now you move on with your life. Let's break down why exactly you haven't been able to cultivate the feeling of relief in you right now. Now that we know you must get the feeling first, do not ever wait on the money to feel the feeling. You need to feel the feeling now, which will attract the money, which will allow you to pay the thing or buy the thing. And that reinforces this feeling of relief, but you didn't pay off the debt to feel relieved. Okay, we're not tying our worth and our feelings of being relieved and feeling safe to dollars or spending money in any sort of way. So one reason why you may not be able to cultivate that feeling of relief now is because you haven't first been aware that this is how it works. But now that you're aware, what comes next? You're going to start to be able to perceive when you're unrelieved in regards to money. So whenever you think about paying that debt, you're going to feel unrelief because you're chasing the feeling of paying something off, thinking it's going to give you the feeling of relief. And your body is telling you that you do not feel relieved when you think about doing it in that order. So that is a red flag. That is your alarm. That is your nervous system going off saying, hey, stop doing this action. Stop trying to pay the debt off. Stop trying to get more money. Stop trying to get rid of this debt. We do not feel relieved doing these actions. Do not keep brute forcing it. Do not keep trying to force this. And all your job is to cultivate the feeling of relief is to not do the things your body's telling you not to do. So if you frantically check your bank account and you feel the feeling of unrelief, that's your body telling you stop checking your bank account frantically. If you're trying to work overtime to get rid of this debt, and every time you sign up for extra hours, your body is giving you the red flag, that means stop signing up for overtime. Apply this to every single part of your life. This could even be just the idea of calculating how much money you might need, like just really overworking your brain to try to figure out how you're going to get rid of the debt. And your body is yelling at you, hey, stop. This does not feel good. So what you will do instead is you will consciously choose, I'm no longer going to participate in these actions that clearly make me feel like I'm being more unrelieved. I'm not going to participate in these actions because my body is telling me to stop. I am now going to listen to my body when it's telling me that what I'm doing no longer aligns with a version of me who is relieved in regards to money. And when you stop checking your bank account frequently or frantically, and you stop calculating how much money you need and calculating how much overtime you need, and really the calculator tool or the app on your phone or your iPad, really, I just say delete it. It's an app. You can get it back whenever you want. But until you can stop crunching numbers like you're an accountant, you need to make sure that you are not using that tool. Because at the end of the day, checking your account does not pay the debt. Calculating how much debt you have does not pay the debt. So how about going forward, every time you feel like you have to do these actions because you feel like you need to do these actions, you just stop in your tracks and you say, I'm no longer doing that. I'm not calculating this shit no more. Just choose not to. And therefore, you're not going to be doing actions that leave you feeling unrelieved, that put you in a state of more fear, a state of feeling unsupported, a state of feeling worse off than before you did them. And because you stopped checking your accounts frequently and you stopped forcing it and you feel the feeling of relief now, that's going to lead you to make relieving, aligned decisions with money as you go on, which manifests the money. And first of all, it also manifests opportunities to get rid of debt. You're going to find programs you've never seen before. You're going to watch a video online that you've never seen before. You're going to find exactly the information you need to get rid of the debt, easier than you ever thought. All of that is what happens when you remove the actions that don't align with the version of you that is already relieved. I want you to leave this video knowing that if you continue doing, like, you've already watched this video, so your brain is unlinked to putting action to feel the feeling that you're chasing. So now that you're aware of that, if you continue choosing stress, then you're really, really doing it on purpose. And you're going to kind of teeter for a little bit where, sometimes you can, not crunch the numbers, and sometimes you can, sometimes you just have to, sometimes you just, there's going to be a balance to it. But I really want you to understand that you don't want money. You don't even want the things that buy money or the thing you're going to use money for. You don't really want to be debt free. You just want to feel relief. And you get the relief by stop participating, stop subscribing to the thoughts, beliefs, behaviors that are causing you to feel unrelief. And what you're doing is you're detaching from the 3D. If you've watched my content, the 3D is all old beliefs. Everything that you've thought in your head in the past is now what you're seeing in front of you. So if you can hold a different frequency, different thoughts, different beliefs, eventually those will reflect in front of you. But if you keep checking that bank app, or you keep doing these things that are reinforcing the story that you don't even want to participate in, that's the reason. That's the problem. It's not really so much that you could never check your bank app. Like, that's obviously not the case. Or that, you're just going to frivolously spend and never pay your debt. Like, that's not the point here. The point that I'm making is that intentionally understanding that the actions you're taking are what's keeping you feeling unrelieved, because you're literally playing into the 3D. You're like, okay, I know the 3D is fake. I know this is all stuff that's old, but I'm still going to check the account because I feel so much anxiety. And then you repeat it because it's now what you're thinking about now. So now, when now comes out of your head into the 3D, you get more of the BS you didn't want in the first place. So stop the tracks in your brain. Therefore, you can see something different, which is when you're manifesting that money and when you're feeling relieved. And when you have that story come together, it's not because you actually tried harder. It's because you're doing energy over effort. Energy over effort. Always energy over effort. And you are now richer by the minute. It is done.